This is Frank Islam, Chairman and CEO of FI Investment Group, your host of Tonight with Frank Islam. Today, our guest is Madeeha Anwar. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for
Appreciate it.
inviting
You
me.
work for the Voice of America, which is a great place to work. So tell us a little bit about yourself and why did you get into journalism?
Well, Frank, first of all, thank you so much for having me here. It's an honor. Journalism is in my genes, actually. I'm the third generation into journalism in my family.
Oh, my goodness.
So it started with my grandfather back in the 60s, 70s. My mom, she used to be a newscaster on PTV. So I got
What's the PTV stands for?
It's Pakistan Television.
Okay.
So I got the inspiration from home. But until I did my high school, I wanted to opt for medicine. You know, at that time, most of the students were either going for medicine or engineering. But I changed my mind after high school, and I told my dad that, listen, I want to do journalism because I wanted to be.
What was the reaction from your dad?
Oh, he was a very, very cool person. Whatever I am today, it's because of my dad. He was such a nice fellow. So he said, okay, if you want to do journalism, go ahead. Because I grew up in Saudi Arabia. So after I did my high school, I had to come back to Pakistan for further education. So at that time, you can say I had a deal with my dad, and I said, okay, let me go and do journalism.
So where did you graduate from?
From Pakistan, Punjab University, Lahore.
And did you also go to school in the United States?
No, I did not.
Okay.
No, I was offered a job and I came for VOA here.
Okay.
Yeah, that is another interesting story. So that's how I opted for journalism, and I have uncles in journalism, my mom also. So pretty much it came from the family. It was in the family, and I'm the third generation, very happy to be a journalist, and very proud that I took that decision 10, 12 years ago, and happy with it.
What are the responsibility of a journalist in a free society and freedom of presses? Can they separate the fact from the fiction? Can they separate the truth from the lie?
Well, that is the hard part, actually. That is really the hard part. That is what defines you as a journalist.
Especially what's going on with the fake news these days.
Fake news these days. And when I started journalism back in 2006, I was studying at the same time. I was doing my master's at that time. And when I started, there was not too many news channels in Pakistan. It was just a couple of news channels. And there was not so many fake news. There was no social media. So the challenges were less. And there were not many women at that time who opted for this field. And even, I mean, I told you that I belong to a family of journalists. But when I told my family that I want to go in this field, I remember there were many people in my family who said, no, this field is not meant for women. So you just cannot do this. But yeah, so the challenges, they have increased over the time because now there are so many avenues. There is social media, different
24 by 7.
Yeah, 24/7. I mean, everything is on your phone now.
That is
correct. It's
correct.
not television screens anymore. So you have everything on your phones. So yes, the challenges are more and more, they're increasing, but I see that there are organizations, there are people, there are journalists who take responsibility of their work. So that's how you differentiate between fake news and, lies and facts.
Between the facts and fictions.
Yeah.
What obstacle did you face as a female journalist in Pakistan? And obviously it's not a profession where there are a lot of females are there. Correct? In Pakistan and probably in this country as well.
That is true.
What kind of obstacle did you face there, and what kind of obstacle and challenges did you face in this country, and how were you able to overcome those challenges?
Right, that's a very good question. Actually, when I started, as I told you, there were very few women at that time. Actually, I belong to the era where women had just started entering into not just journalism, but many other different fields as well. So that was the time when there were women from many families. I know many of my friends, they opted for different fields and they said, no, we will go out and we will work. Because before that, the profession for women was usually in Pakistan teaching, a school teacher. They would become a school teacher. But going into journalism or economics or any other such field, that was really hard for the society at that time to digest that, a woman can be a journalist, go into the field, interview people, do investigative journalism, and can carry out with the career. I opted for it, and I'm really happy that I was one of those women who took the challenge and went out. There were challenges. People, the acceptability from people, that is the first thing. You go out in the field and you can see it in the eyes of the people. Oh, what is this lady doing here? Why is she interviewing people on the road? There were challenges among the staff. People will not give you space. There was a very limited scope. People would say, okay, you don't touch politics, don't go into investigative journalism, just go and cover maybe some art exhibition, some school functions, thing like that. So yeah, there were challenges and it took time.
So you were not given the opportunity to exploit your fullest potential.
Not in the beginning, yeah. It took
Took a long
year,
time.
2 years, yeah.
I am an advocate of woman entrepreneurship and empowering women by education. As a matter of fact, I've contributed a lot of money, my own personal investment, to ensure that the women can determine their own destiny and not be confined in 4 walls, and especially the Muslim women, and I've written many, many columns on these things in the United States and also in India. Your thoughts were about how do you go about empowering women by education and to make sure that we can empower them in such a manner and positive manner that they can make a difference in people's lives?
The first thing you need to do is, educate your women, then give them a chance. Let the women know they can achieve anything if they want to. Just
very
give
well
them
said.
that space. Education is the first thing. It's not that you have to empower your women. You have to let, and especially in Pakistan, it's a male-dominating society.
And also in Muslim countries.
In Muslim countries, yes, in general. So you have to tell your men too that give them space. It's not just women. Okay, if a woman wants to do something, but if she is having problems within the family, if they are not allowing her to opt for the field that she wants to work in, so these are the obstacles, and you have to tell your men too that give women the space.
Do you? I want to get to the reporting part there before I continue my conversations. Do you think you feel there's a lot more brighter horizon, even the women endure the storm in Pakistan and some other Muslim countries, in order for them to go out, get a good education, and also realize their dream?
Well, that's exactly what women have been doing in the past, I would say, 1 decade. Things have really changed in the past 1 decade, and I have seen women achieving too much. That was not the case, say, 12 years back, 15 years back, but in the past 1 decade, we have seen women opting for different fields, going out. Even if you see the field of journalism, when we used to switch on, now we have like so many television news channels in Pakistan, I would say 20, 25 at least. So there was a time whenever you switch on the television, any news channel, there would be any male anchor, but now it's...
You see female.
We do see female. The ratio still needs to be better, but still you see
in terms of the population size, it has to be better.
Exactly. But now there is a difference already in the society. So that is one positive aspect.
So things are getting better.
Things have gotten better, definitely.
And do you believe they will continue on that path forward?
Oh, definitely.
I wanted to also, I wrote a columns in India on the global entrepreneurship, and that happened in India about 2 months ago, and President Trump's daughter was there to inaugurate that.
Yeah, in
Hyderabad. And it's about giving opportunity to women first. So my column was to talk about and tell the stories of the woman. There's only 12% of the women who host the highest office in business.
Yeah.
What is the statistics in terms of female being a CEO of a large or small business and medium-sized business in Pakistan?
I do not know the exact figure.
But how can you just count on your finger? Is that how many are there?
Very few. I know a couple of women, but there are not many. But they are. now especially, I'll quote one example. I like to really quote it. This clothing business, there was a time, this is something very new which has started from Pakistan, and it has spread out in all of the Asia and even in America. There is this new trend of designer clothing and lawn designing and everything. So most of the women entrepreneurs are behind those ventures. So that is one good thing. That is one thing that I remember of. I have seen women in journalism. I have seen women in finances going out and exploring. So women have expanded their horizon, their fields. It is happening there.
It is happening.
It is happening.
Okay. So we'll be right back.
अब आपका होगा अपना घर, सपना घर। Your dreams can come true. SAI Mortgage is key for you. अपना घर खरीदने और रीफाइनेंस करवाने के लिए SAI Mortgage से राब्ता करें।
Don't make a move without SAI.
So we're back with Madeeha Anwar. Thank you very much. We have been talking about the female journalists and so on and so forth. Tell the people in the young female aspiring entrepreneur and journalist who wants to be like you and you are the role model. What advice do you have for them?
Oh, that's really kind of you. My advice first, just believe in yourself. Just believe in your dreams. Think of something that you want to do in your life. Be clear in your mind that what do you want to do, and then think of the obstacles. Go ahead. There will be obstacles. There will be people who will tell you you should not do this. Don't think anything about them. Just stay focused and hard work, and go ahead and achieve your goal.
So, most important thing, getting a good education.
Of course, you cannot do anything without good education.
Getting good education, be the best you can be, exploit your fullest potential. And she also said, a very important, aim high, work hard, and pursue your dream. What do you tell a female person who's only a teenager in Pakistan, and their family would not allow for them to go to school? What do you tell them? That they have aspirations and dreams.
Well, there are ways, Frank. There are still many families who, unfortunately, they do not allow the women to go out and study. They can do privately. There are options in Pakistan. They can study privately, and if they will be persistent, if they will get good grades, if they will get good education, then eventually their families will realize.
They will buy in.
Definitely.
Okay. Let's talk about you went to Israel.
Oh, yes.
And apart from journalists, you have been exploring the world.
Mm-hmm.
So why did you go to Israel, and what lessons did you learn from that experience?
Very interesting question. I went to Israel because, as a Pakistani, I cannot go there. It's a forbidden. Yeah, because it's mentioned on our passports, on green passports, Pakistani passports, that you can go to anywhere on this passport but Israel. So
I did not know that.
Oh yeah, so that's.
But you are a U.S. citizen.
I'm a U.S. citizen. So I became a U.S. citizen last year.
Okay.
And that was the first thing in my mind because my father and my mom. My father, he was very well traveled and very learned man, and he always wanted to go to Jerusalem and see Masjid Aqsa because that's the ultimate goal of most of the Muslims, right? So that was something in my mind.
It's the center of three religions.
Yeah, it is. It is. So, so when I got my U.S. citizenship, that was the first thing, and I wanted to go there and explore it because, and especially, when you are told that, that space, you cannot go there, then you have this thing, okay, I need to explore this. Why it's forbidden for me. So there
was curiosity.
Curiosity, definitely.
So what places did you go to? Obviously, you went to the mosque.
I went to, Jerusalem. I explored pretty much the whole of Jerusalem. I went to the mosque, the Dome of the Rock, that Wailing Wall, the church, and then I went to Bethlehem. I went to Hebron. So I explored quite a few cities over there. The Dead Sea, saw the Dead Sea.
Dead Sea, right.
Yes.
So what lessons have you learned from that journey, from that experience? And how does it relate to what you're doing in the journalism?
The first thing was like I got a chance to meet so many people of different religions. I met so many Jewish people.
Different creeds, different religion, different background.
Exactly, and they were all very kind and nice, and we had very nice discussions. And they offered me food wherever I went, and that was one nice aspect. You see the people that everybody, apart from their religious beliefs, they are a human being like you. So that was one very interesting thing.
So that's an important aspect of your journey. If you're like that they are in this planet, they are human beings, and
Yes.
our job is to make sure they have equality, dignity, tolerance, and they respect other people as well. And
Exactly.
that's what taught you,
Yeah.
as I understand.
Yes.
Wonderful. What do you think of this administration's talk, or what they're thinking about doing? And they already made the statement to move the United States Embassy to Jerusalem.
Oh, well, you see, there is a reaction from Muslim world, and I do not want to say
there has
anything
been some
on
violence
it.
in
Yes,
some
and
places.
still continuing. No, honestly, I don't want to comment on that.
Yeah, I can understand it because you do work for Voice America,
Yeah.
and you have to ensure this bipartisan support that you have, which is a good thing for you to do. Let's talk a little bit about Pakistan and U.S. relationship, where we are, where we headed, what do we need to do to make sure that the relationship can be strengthened and broadened and deepened?
Well, that is also one tough question, and we have seen in the past so many times that we have seen the ups and downs in the relationships, and especially after this Trump administration and the statements that we have recently seen from Mr. Tillerson. I think both the countries, they need to develop some trust on some level, and I think it's about time to stop playing this hide and seek. And at times it's from both countries, so they both need to develop that trust, which has been missing in the.
They need to find a common ground, but stand in the ground to work together. That's what you feel.
Exactly.
One of the hurdle and the challenges the India also says several times about the terrorism. The terrorism breeds in the violence. As a result, the violence breeds in Pakistan, and they need to curb that before they can have a dialogue. Well, what's your feeling on that?
Well, see,
And
India
Afghanistan is another problem.
Of course, Afghanistan and India blames it to Pakistan. Pakistan blames it to Afghanistan and India. That's how it has been going on, and unfortunately, I think that's how it will go on in the future as well. Until and unless all these countries will sit together and will seriously think and come up with a plan to curb militancy, extremism, which is the biggest challenge, not only for Pakistan but for the whole region, for the whole South
and the
Asian region.
Pakistani and the Muslims have been the victim of the atrocities of the ISIS and other organizations. Taliban and other, correct?
Yeah.
The Muslims have been the victim of that.
Pakistan has lost more than 70,000 people's lives in the past one decade to this war on terrorism. So Pakistan is definitely one of the biggest victims.
So, do you feel a brighter horizon between the U.S. And Pakistan relationship and India and Pakistan relationship?
Why not? If there will be seriousness from all the parties, if they are serious to sit down and think of a solution, if they are serious to have better relations. You cannot change your neighbors. You cannot change the geographical reality of India and Pakistan.
You're
so you have
right.
to come up.
We didn't have any choice on our parents, right?
Yeah.
So they don't have any choice.
Exactly. So they should
They
do
have
something.
to find a way to work together.
Exactly.
And together they can help shape a better future for both countries.
For both countries, for the region.
Now, let's talk a little bit about how do you balance your family and your professional work, and you travel all the time?
You have to you have to work out. You have to give properly your time to the family and to your work. After a while, after 2-3 years, you know how to tackle with things and
you try to balance it.
Try to balance it. Yes.
So we'll be right back in a minute with Madeeha Anwar.
अब आपका होगा अपना घर, सपना घर।
Your dreams can come true. SAI Mortgage risky for you.
अपना घर खरीदने और रीफाइनेंस करवाने के लिए SAI मॉर्गेज से राब्ता करें।
Don't make a move without SCI.
Q. Okay, we're back to Madeeha Anwar. Thank you very much. So we talked about a little bit about separating your professional life with your personal life, and you were able to balance that. Do you have any other hobby besides the journalism?
Traveling, I would say. I
Travel
really
is a
love
good
to
thing to
travel.
do,
Yeah.
exploring the world.
Yeah.
And what kind of country do you like to travel?
Well, my next destination is South America. I want to explore
South America.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
You never went there?
Not yet, no. So that's on
And
the list, on the bucket list.
What country in particular? Not only South America, you want to go to Central America as well.
Yes.
What country do you prefer to go to?
I mean, Brazil, definitely.
Brazil, which is a very
yeah.
multi-ethnic and multi-faith
Cultural,
country.
Yes. So I really want to explore that place, and it's
What
still,
about Argentina?
that's also a very nice country, and Peru.
Peru is the kernel of civilization.
Yes, so I'm hoping to explore like 3-4 countries in a week or 10 days. So that is on the list. And then I also want to explore Pakistan. I didn't get a chance to explore much of the cities in Pakistan. I have just been to a couple of So I want to explore Pakistan.
So let's suppose I invite you to Karachi in Pakistan, and that we have a bunch of female, young, aspiring journalists, and what do you tell them? That you could be one of you one day if they work hard and aim high? Is that what you tell them?
Not?
What would you tell them?
Why not? And Frank, there has been this program from the State Department, and they invite journalists from Pakistan.
They do.
So
They also invite journalists from India also.
Right.
I forgot to tell you that my foundation funds the scholarship program for the journalists to come from India to the United States for 6 months training through the Missouri School of Journalism.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, we do that. We've been doing it for 2 years. And last year we had students, and this year we're getting 1 or 2 more students.
So how's the response?
The response has been very positive. One of the things that this girl, her name is Smita Rajan, and she works for DNA, which is the English newspaper based in Gujarat in India. One of the things she learned and she kind of shared with us is about the fact checking.
Right.
Which does not exist in India, and I don't think it exists in Pakistan.
Yeah.
And this is something that she wants to promote, that the fact checking is an important aspect of the journalism.
Right, definitely.
So what would you tell those young girls who has a lot of energy, enthusiasm, they want to retransfer from Pakistan and come to our show and be like you?
Oh, most of them, that's what I was telling you. Like, I have seen girls, women coming from Pakistan, they get this opportunity in the State Department programs, I think once or twice a year. They do get a chance to come here and go in different newsrooms in United States, and they get inspired, they go back, and they really want to come back and explore more. And most of them, they want to explore job opportunities here in the field of journalism. So what I tell them, you have to aim high, and the thing is, work hard in your field. Know what you want to do, work hard, and then explore the opportunities. Then there are so many opportunities once you're good in your field. No one is there to stop you.
So that's what I do in India. I may want to shift the gears and get some journalists, female or male, and this usually goes to under 35 the people, and they have the experience. Do you think you can find some candidate for me for them to go to the Missouri School of Journalism?
Oh, yeah.
Missouri School of Journalism is the premier school, and the date probably I cannot do this year, but the next year we could.
That would be a great
Anwar
initiative.
Iqbal from Dawn is the one who introduced me to Missouri School of Journalism, and he was a recipient of that, and now look at his. What he has done.
Definitely, yeah. He's a very,
so there are a lot of
journey.
success stories. I want to talk to you one more item before we close our conversation. It's with regard to Malaya Yousafzai, and she's very popular in this country, and she inspires all the people. What is the reaction in Pakistan?
Well, actually,
Is it a mixed?
I'll tell you, I covered the Nobel Peace Prize in 2014. I went to Norway and I got a chance to meet her and interview her right before she went to receive her Nobel Peace Prize. Lovely child. She was 17 years old at that time, in 3 years back. I loved meeting her, and even before meeting her, I had my doubts as well, because in Pakistan there are some people who take her as an inspiration, and her story is a remarkable story. But there are a lot of people who say this is all a Western conspiracy, and it makes me sad when I still see that sentiment in Pakistan. And now she's on Twitter. She's going to Oxford. There are still people you'll find in Pakistan who would still say that no, we are not going to buy her story, and this is all a conspiracy and nothing else. So there are mixed feelings, but more of it is negative.
Very good.
Negative sentiment.
Well, thank you very much for coming to our show. We appreciated your conversations. I know the people in the audience probably want to be like you one day when they grow up.
Oh, that's very kind of you, friend.
And thank you for your advice, and thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
This is Frank Islam wishing you a great week, and thank you for watching.